Is called to order at this time. I'm going to take a roll call attendance. If you'll just state here. We've got Steve Hall.
Here.
Tom Crouch.
Here.
Becky Lytle.
Here.
Eugene West.
Here.
And hold on. Who am I missing? See, I know Desmond's not going to be here. We're waiting on Amber to log in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to read this statement inviting the public to attend now. The public is invited to attend by dialing 1-312-626-6799 and entering the meeting ID 818-0611-0043. That meeting ID is 818-0611-0043 #. You can also provide comments remotely by emailing them to rrafala@cityoflawrence.org. We'll go ahead and start with the meeting. We'll need a motion and a second for the minutes from January 19th, 2021.
So moved.
I'll second. This is Tom.
Okay, who made the motion?
Steve.
Okay. And by roll call vote, Becky Lytle?
Yes.
Eugene West?
Yes.
Steve Hall?
Yes.
Tom Crouch?
Yes.
Okay. And then Becky, do you want to do anyone wishing to speak tonight? Do you have that in front of you?
Do.
Okay.
If you have not, okay, we can't do that. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Answer with I do.
I do.
Mark, we need you to say I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Okay, we have no special requests tonight or old business, so if we want to move on to new business.
Okay, we will hear 21 LUSV-03 7615 Oakland Road, variance of use and development standard of table to create 3 lots, with 2 lots being single-family residential use and 1 to be used for the existing daycare, with the 2 residential lots not meeting the minimum street frontage requirement. Anybody here for the case?
Yes, it's Mark Crouch.
Okay, Mark, you need to present the case. Tell them what
Hey,
you're
before
wanting to do.
Mark speaks, I should make it clear that even though we have the same last name, we're not relatives, nor to my knowledge have we ever met. So just for the record.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
I get that a lot. My name is Mark Crouch. My address is 124 East Pleasant Run Parkway, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46225. Here today representing Boyd Harrison, who's the owner of the property and the operator of the daycare center. Mr. Harrison is wishing to split his property into 3 parcels for the construction of 2 single-family residents with 2 will be 2 separate owners, I'm guessing, for their own personal and private use. We worked with staff and Renee and came up with a proposal in front of you today. Basically, in order to divide the parcel, we'll be deficient in a couple of different areas. We have plenty of land, but we don't have plenty of frontage. So that is one of the things. Splitting it, the zoning is currently, I don't know if I have it here, it's zoned for business, and I think we were going to use it for, or DA agricultural. So we were going to use it primarily for residential on those 2, and the existing daycare center is operation is not to be affected or changed or expanded anyway by this petition. If you have any questions or if I missed anything, I'd be happy to answer or continue if needed.
Yes, this is Tom. You might talk a little bit about ingress and egress, that it looks like you have to go over the daycare property to get to these two lots.
Yeah, there's an existing access from the daycare center. So we were using that area. We created an non-exclusive, but basically for both of the new properties, single family, to use that. There were some concerns about traffic, and we felt like using this, the daycare center had a certain hours of operation, which are a little busier than I think normal, but I don't think there has been any history of any major traffic areas. So other than additional of the two residential, we felt that that was the least impactful on a situation, maybe not perfect. And we think there's plenty of a line of sight along the Oakland Road, so we don't feel like we're adding any adverse danger to the area. We'd be happy to hear any suggestions if someone had an issue.
Renee, this is Sri. Can I talk now, or do I have to wait more for my turn? I just want to clarify one thing. Hello, Renee?
Renee's muted.
Sorry, I was screen sharing so everybody could see the thing and I was muted. Yes, Sri, go ahead. Say what you need to say.
So I think the way I understand, to be clear to the board members, is there is going to be an shared ingress egress drive that's connecting, that's going to go back to both residential properties like you see on the gray area there, right?
Yes,
Correct.
right here.
And this will be an exclusive egress easement when they plat this property. I mean, when they redo the property, just so that in the future it will remain as an egress easement.
Correct.
And there's enough land. When I drove to where the present road dead ends, and that property where the houses are going really drops off. There is room for the road?
Yes, there's a line on there where it shows where the floodplain is. I don't think there's historical flooding up to that line, but that is where I think FEMA kind of draws the line. We're nowhere near that, so we're closer to, so there's plenty of open space. So I don't think that there's much impact in the environment from the use of the properties, but we're well back from that floodplain line.
And just so the board is aware, just even though we are recommending approval for the variance, when they go through the design, any kind of permitting that needs from outside agencies, they wouldn't have to go through it. So even if there is an impact to any of the wetlands or something, they will have to go through the proper process to get that before they can build on such lands, even if it gets into that level, into that area.
Thank you, that makes sense.
Board have any other questions at this time?
I do not.
I'm just curious, is the daycare just expanding? What is it needing the additional space for?
The daycare is not expanding, so there's additional acreage that's there that they don't use. So they're basically putting it at the least impactful use in residential. There's a user that is going to be occupying one, and then the second lot would be sold to another, probably a homeowner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the board?
I do want to, just for the record, show that Amber Denny is present for voting. and she will vote tonight because Eugene is not here. Or I'm sorry, Desmond. Eugene is here. Desmond is not.
You trying to get rid of me, Renee? I can just leave.
No, please don't. We enjoy your presence, sir.
If there's no any more questions from the board, we'll hear from any remonstrators. Those are for or against the petition.
Madam President, I have not received any letters or emails of remonstrance for or against this petition, either via regular mail, email, or phone calls.
Thank you. So there's none on the Zoom meeting at this time, right?
Correct.
Are there any elected officials or any counselors on?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. With there not being any remonstrators, we'll hear from the city of Lawrence. Now, will that be you, Renee, now tonight?
Yes, yes. So I wrote up a staff report, and it was reviewed by our city engineer and our director of redevelopment, Sri and Dan Zerner, and I forwarded that to all of you guys. I'm going to just touch on a couple of points that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. The property is currently 8.177 acres with a DA zoning. Back in 1995, a variance of use was granted, allowing the construction of the child care facility, measuring approximately 10,237 square feet. The petitioner has requested the approval to split this 8.177 acres into 3 lots. Lot 1 will remain a child care facility and will measure at approximately 2.265 acres. Lot 2 for residential use will be approximately 3.189 acres. And Lot 3 for residential use will be about 2 acres. Per the zoning code, the minimum acres for a lot is 3 acres. If the variance is approved, 2 of the 3 parcels will not meet this requirement. Lot 1 and Lot 3. Per zoning code, you also have to have a minimum street frontage of 125 feet. If this variance is approved, 2 of the 3 parcels will not meet this requirement. Lot 2 and Lot 3. Lot 2 will have 92.98 feet of frontage, and Lot 3 will have 0 street frontage. We've already discussed their shared ingress egress. There is a 100-year floodplain, which is outlined on the plot plan. And there is an environmentally sensitive area. As Sri mentioned, they will have to still go through the permits to develop in that environmentally sensitive area. The City of Lawrence is recommending approval of this petition with the condition that the applicant will still be required to meet the development standards as outlined in the table in the zoning code, with exception to the minimum lot area and street frontage. Did you have any questions for us?
I do not.
Yes, I do, Renee.
Okay.
I'm trying to, what the zoning code is saying is if you have a D8 zone property, each residential lot has to be 3 acres.
Correct.
I mean, it's the secret to this is the underlying DA, because certainly we have less than 3 acre lots all over our city.
Absolutely.
In development. So it is peculiar to the DA zoning in that context.
So the DA zoning is a dwelling agricultural zoning. It's intended for farmland or animals, those kind of agricultural uses. And to meet the agricultural standards, your minimum lot size is 3 acres.
Right.
Instead of rezoning the property to a dwelling 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, whatever would fit, they've asked for a variance to that DA zoning to allow a less than 3 acre lot.
Yeah. So it's not extraordinary.
No.
Board, have any questions for Renee? Petitioner, are you okay with the recommendations that the
Yes, we're very happy with the work that Renee put in on this, and we do appreciate her time on this. We think it's been actually a very fun process. It's been a learning experience for me, and we appreciate all that she's been able to provide for us and her knowledge.
I do want to say, Renee, I appreciate the detail into your staff report. It is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for preparing that for us.
I had a lot of guidance from Sri. He was very helpful with it.
Oh, good. So, petitioner, you have any rebuttal or anything?
No, I think we're fine. I do want to state there's no intention to expand, not to intend to use it for anything other than the residential purposes. We're not looking to build into the floodplain or any of the protected areas. And we do have to go when we go for the building permit, we have to get everything approved there. So if there are any issues that would arise with drainage or anything, we have to make sure that we pass that test. So we're willing to do all of those things, and we would appreciate your favorable vote.
Sir, is the board ready to vote at this time?
I believe so.
Okay,
Renee, you want to do roll call?
Yes, ma'am. We'll do a roll call vote. Steve Hall,
Yes.
Tom Crouch,
Yes.
Becky Lytle,
Yes.
Amber Denny,
Yes.
Eugene West.
Yes.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Go ahead, Becky.
The board now will hear the next case, which is 21 LSV-04 7848 Pilda Pike, variance of development standards of the Marion County sign ordinance to allow a 2x5 by 10 by 3 electronic variable message sign within a 600 feet of a protected district. Anybody here for this case?
Yes, I am.
Welcome. You can go ahead and present it, sir.
Yes, my name is Mark R. Johnson. I'm with MRJ Sign Company. We're actually out of Ortonville, Michigan. I handle the national sign program for Cartwright dealerships. This is a property that Cartwright Realty LLC purchased about 5 years ago, and they wish to replace or actually install an electronic message center. The lower existing panel has cartwright.com on it. That's just a non-illuminated aluminum panel with vinyl graphic on it. What is behind that is an actual old style message center, which is no longer in working condition. Furthermore, from what we were able to tell and what Renee was able to determine, there wasn't really any permitting done for that. That was the Bob Rohrman Auto Mall that originally developed that property. We are within the 600 feet, but we are perpendicular to the residential zoning, and there's actually a building between where the freestanding sign is located, where the message center will be installed, and those apartments. So line of sight, if at all, would be very skewed and very limited from anywhere in the apartment complex. Whereas the Carplex, which is the another auto dealer, a competitor across the street, their freestanding sign is actually between two spaces of buildings and directly visible from the apartments. The total square footage of the existing sign, which we did the faces on the top panel, will actually go down by 11 square feet from what it is existing now to what it will be once the message center is installed. And this is a message center, quite frankly, that they had at a location in Muncie, Indiana, which they closed, and they would like to reutilize it there in the area versus bringing it back here to Michigan and who knows where it ends up getting sent to, that sort of thing. And I'm here for any questions that you may have.
And what will this electronic sign be displaying?
Pardon me?
What will this electronic sign be displaying?
It will primarily be displaying because Cartwright is a national chain. They're not one to like put a picture of a car up there with a price on it. It will be displaying more of the fact that they do their own in-house financing and things of that nature. And they have a service department there, so any service type of special. They really try to do a real corporate look on all their message centers that I've installed for them. I've done quite a few for them. Because of that, it's not as flashy color-wise and things like that. Some used car dealers have a tendency, they take an iPhone, take a picture of a car and throw lime green pricing over the top of that. Up in the corner to get your eye. This is more of a corporate polished look. The company Cartwright is actually, the principal of Cartwright is a gentleman named Don Foss that owns a company called Credit Acceptance Corporation. Credit Acceptance Corporation is a car financer, which at any point in time has literally billions and billions of dollars of auto loans out. They're actually larger than Ally, which is the old GMAC Financial and Ford Motor Credit combined. So this is his venue, and they're in about 6 states right now so far.
Now, did you look at the recommendations from the city of Lawrence?
Yes. Yeah, we have no problem with that. In fact, it's very thorough. I mean, it's better than, quite frankly, what most communities do. Everyone has this idea that they want a message that's in motion because they think it has to be Las Vegas Boulevard. What they don't realize is that if you're on Las Vegas Boulevard, you yourself are not in motion. That's why the messages can be in motion. If you're in motion and the messages are in motion, you just spend a lot of money for no effective advertising whatsoever. It just gets totally lost. I actually looked at the static, so everything will change automatically. We will shut down between midnight and the determined time in the morning. We'll have fixed messages basically during drive time, morning and afternoon. This is a watch fire sign, which is pretty much a Cadillac of message centers. It's actually manufactured in Danville, Illinois, not too far away from you. And it does have the photo cell on it, so it automatically changes its intensity of the LEDs as the ambient light changes. If you've ever seen a message center that seems too bright at night, that's because of the fact that that message center was manufactured and designed to be installed in a convention center or an airport, somewhere where it had fixed light. And a lot of people end up buying message centers for less cost. They save 20-30%, but they don't realize it's not meant for either cold weather or it's not meant for different ambient lights and things of that nature and stuff. So it will have that feature on it. One thing I would point out that on the listings that you have from the previous, you talk about that feature of having it being able to basically the photo cell and change its LEDs are measured in nits. That's their like lumens, but it references Daktronics. That's an actual brand. So I would suggest in the future just to say it has to have that type of feature. It'd be kind of like saying in a variance that you can park your motorhome in front of your house, but it has to be a Winnebago and no other manufacturers are allowed type of thing.
Well, this is back when digital signs started coming out and Lawrence started getting a bunch of them. And we want to make sure, because I do have an issue with brightness. Electronic signs is my pet peeve. And when we first started doing them, there's some that were really bright. So we have come up with these certain requirements that everybody who puts up an electronic sign in the city of Lawrence, everybody has to meet the same thing. So there's not one getting over on the other. It's all They're all consistent. So
Right.
we need to change with the times, Renee, and
I'll get with you, Mark, after this and
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
information.
Well,
so I can
and
update it.
Daktronics is basically one of the largest manufacturers. They do a huge.
Yeah, but I don't want to state a specific brand. I just,
Yeah,
I need
right,
to-
right.
So
But
I'll
like
reword that.
every McDonald's or every CVS electronic message center you've ever seen anywhere in the country is a Daktronics
Okay.
and stuff. I just happen to do Watchfire because Watchfire is in Illinois, Daktronics is in North Dakota. It's
we learned something tonight, Renee.
less expensive to ship them to me.
I can stop for today. I've learned something.
Yeah.
Does the board have any questions at this time?
Mark, say again, where the sign is going to be positioned again?
Well, the sign is going to go on the existing steel pole beneath.
Right down that space
Right.
down below there.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Correct. And there's actually one there that's a larger box that we're going to take down. The problem is when they bought the property in 2015, Cartwright, their realty arm, they were opening about 7 stores at the same time over like a 4-month period. They had me very busy. And that high-tech message center that was there was just going out of warranty, and you couldn't get parts for it. No one had ever maintained it or serviced it. So that's why we came up with the idea of just leaving it there versus removing it and putting the cartwright.com, which, like I said, is basically an 1/8 inch thick of black aluminum with vinyl graphic on it. And addressing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to give you a compliment, Mark. Because of this petition, drove through your site, and it's very neat and clean and trash picked up and looks like something we can be proud of in our city. So
Well,
thanks for being a good neighbor.
Well, I'm in Michigan. I'm the sign contractor, but I'll
Take credit for it.
I'll pass that on to Cartwright. Yeah, they operate a really tight ship. They really do. And
Congratulations.
They have very good leadership. Mr. Foss is the type that I myself have seen him personally stop what he's doing and start talking with a young couple about a used car on the lot. And with his equity in his financial company, his net worth fluctuates between $7 and $9 billion. But he's the type of man that'll stop what he's doing because he happens to love being in the car business. So, and of course, I'm sure that they had no idea who they were talking to, just some older gentleman. Little did they know he was,
He's selling me a car.
1% out there.
Renee, just one thing I wanted to point out on the code information and operating guidelines. Under the City of Lawrence zoning appeals requirements, number 7, Windows is missing a W.
Okay.
If you can add that back in.
Yep. I can do that.
Thanks.
Yes, of course.
Does the board have any other questions at this time? Without any other questions, are there any remonstrators for or against this petition?
We do not have any written or mailed, emailed, or phone calls for remonstration or support.
Okay, then we'll hear from the City of Lawrence. Renee?
Okay. Again, you guys received a copy of my staff report that was reviewed and approved by Sri. He helped on it. Dan reviewed it, and it was signed off on. We are recommending approval with the commitments that we require on all of our EVMS signs. And I don't know where it went, but hold on, it's loading again. I think there were, is it 9 of them?
8.
8, okay. So commitments number 1 through 8 as outlined in the staff report. When we do a motion for approval, if you guys could make sure that you include that in the motion, that it would include those 8 commitments, the city would appreciate it. We like to keep everything cohesive across the city and make everybody adhere to the same standards and continue that history of doing that into the future. Other than that, we are recommending approval of this. If the board has any questions for the city, I'd be glad to answer.
Any questions? With there being no questions, petitioner, do you have anything else to add?
Just that your 8 requirements, I will also make Cartwright be aware of that at both the corporate office level and the local store leader level, so that they know what they need to meet and everything of that nature.
The owner, Mark, the owner of the property will have to actually file with the Marion County Recorder's Office the commitments that are being added to it. And they'll have to do that before they get an approval letter to get permitting. So I'll go through all that tomorrow. I'll send you all that paperwork and the commitment forms, all that. So we'll do that after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not any more questions? Is the board ready to vote?
Yes.
The board is ready to vote on 21 LSV-04 7848 Pendleton Pike, a variance of development standards of the Marion County sign ordinance to allow a 2-foot by 5-inch by 10 feet, 3-inch electronic variable sign, message sign within 600 feet of a protected district, along with the 8 commitments that they have said they will abide by.
Okay, by roll call vote, Steve Hall,
Yes.
Tom Crouch,
Yes.
Becky Lytle. Couldn't hear you, Becky.
Yes.
Amber Denny,
Yes.
Eugene West.
Yes.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Looking
Is there
forward
a
to
meeting next month?
Looking forward to March Madness down in your neck of the woods.
Oh, Mark,
Yes.
rub it in. We
And
have
I'm a-
few representatives in it.
Well, I'm a U of M fan. We're a U of M family.
So you're a,
We need to revote.
Yeah. Well,
no, we figured that.
I don't think you do. I think they peaked too early.
I'm from Arkansas, so my Razorbacks are in too. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
It's just U of N. It's okay. The Razorbacks can be there. It's just U of N.
yeah.
well, and you have our IU guy, Smith,
Yeah.
starts
Yeah.
for you, I think.
Yeah.
He never
think they
played
did.
that well for us.
No, he didn't.
No. And I still can't believe we still have Harbaugh. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah. No, we're a football school now, so it's really great.
Yeah. And so, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, do we
sir.
have a meeting next month?
No, sir, we have no petitions for next month.
Hi.
Okay, well, we'll see you all in